What's up, warriors of hype? It is I, the warrior of hype, and I have Excalibro with me as well. It's time to bring the hype because we got Naoki Hypecast. It's Naoki Hamaguchi. Naoki Hamaguchi, you know, we just like give him the Hypecast nickname because, man, when he does interviews, I get hype. And Excalibro, I know you're hype as well. You might see Jeff Grubb on your screen right now from Giant Bomb. You got the Giant Bomb YouTube video up, and you're asking, why is that? Well, you probably know, but let's take a listen. Let's get hype right off the bat, Excalibro.
Sony has a PlayStation stream planned for next month. This is from Jonas Mackey at Game Reactor. Microsoft had their developer direct. Nintendo's doing the Tomodachi Life thing. So this got people to go ask Nate the Hate, hey, is there going to be a PlayStation State of Play in February? We've heard that. Is that true? And he says, yes, it is. And yeah, I agree. It is. It's happening on February 12th. So there you go. I guess it's probably always safe to say the week of February 12th. Yes, that's right. The week of February 12th is what I should say, because that's a Monday. Could happen on any of the days there. But yes. And it sounds like it's going to be a pretty sizable one, is probably how I would describe it. Don't expect like the world, because it's a state of play and not.
All right. So I don't want to watch the whole thing. You guys can go check that out if you want to. February 12th is a Thursday, by the way. So he said Monday, but February 12th is a Thursday, which would line up perfectly with Thursday Night Hype, if you know what I mean, right? We're here on Hype, the Warriors of Hype on the Hypecast. Yeah, so February 12th, we could be getting a PlayStation State of Play. Now, there's a couple things that kind of lead into this, and it's coming straight from the Naoki Hypecast. So, Naoki Hypecast says that the title has been locked in. And that's coming from over here at GameSpot with Tom Caswell on January 23rd. And over here, where does it say? Yep. Let's see. As it stands, it's reason the final game in the trilogy will use a similar naming convention that ties into its reimagining meta-narrative. And then, of course, Naoki Hamaguchi says, I remember in an interview I did with Paris Games Week about how we narrowed it down to 2 names. It was up to Mr. Nomura to decide which it is. And yes, after returning from the Paris Games Week, he did choose one. And so I can say the title has been locked. All right?
Oh, yeah.
So why the rush to lock in this title? Like, why there was like, we hope to have this title locked in by the end of the year. That's what was happening last time. Well, now it's like, yep, we've locked it in. Okay, during Paris Games, we've got it locked in. Does that coincide with this February 12th, rumored February 12th State of Play, do you think, Excalibro?
Oh, I think there's a good chance. They're crossing all their T's, they're dotting all their lowercase J's. They're getting ready, bro. Like they're getting it all lined up. Man, we know there's voice actors in the booth. We talked about that a little bit last week. You got the title locked. Hamaguchi is just staying talking about this game in every interview. I mean, I feel like it's more than one time a month, right? It's sometimes it feels like it's every week. And now we get this. We just had the 30th anniversary, or the 29th anniversary, excuse me. We had an awesome Switch launch, right? Xbox launch. Like this is looking great. Like the timing is perfect. So I think they're primed and ready to go, my friend. That's what I think.
Yeah, and like talking about such a great launch for the Switch 2 and the Xbox, first of all, let's just, dude, congratulations to the team over with Square Enix and like with a very successful launch of these ports for the Switch 2 and the Xbox, and even so much so that I'm seeing right here, this is, here, I'll share the screen so you can see. This is Arrow, or actual Arrow. It's sold out at Target, sold out at GameStop, sold out at Best Buy, the #1 seller on Amazon, and top of the eShop charts. Nintendo's massive RPG audience showed up for peak. And then look at this. Look at this. And let me just add that I do believe it might be because of that beautiful $39.99 price point.
I was gonna say that's a killer price point, bro. Like, how can you say no to that?
Yeah.
Get yourself a second copy. Get yourself a third copy. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, and like the fact that the physical copy came with a pack of Magic cards that are like $8 on their own. So I mean, you're getting a great deal with this. So it's no surprise that the physical copy for the Switch 2 sold out everywhere. People wanted that physical copy because it came with Magic cards, I imagine, but also because the Switch 2 is, you know, like people still like getting the card, even though it's a game key card, whatever. People still like getting that physical box for a Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's kind of
Some people, I like that.
yeah. I don't think that's worn off too much for Nintendo fans. If I like guessing on there, but it's hard to find. It's hard to find at stores. What's up, man?
Need to check the super chat, my friend.
Let me check a super
my
chat.
friend, bro.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying, bro.
God, bro, we are
That's
my
that's
friend.
a 7x7, son.
Yo, wow, thank you so much. How do I say this name? Lab. I'm just gonna say Lab. Thank you so much, Lab. I really, really appreciate that super chat there, bringing the hype, my friend. So good, he said it.
Bro, I had to do it.
February 12th is the real Valentine's Day for Final Fantasy VII fans. Fingers crossed. Oh my God, y'all. Yeah, that is going to be a beautiful, beautiful day, man. I'm so excited for that. All right, we'll go back to this now. So, all right, we're bouncing around. We have, highly successful relaunch of these games on new consoles, brand new players playing it for the very first time, which is super exciting. There's a momentum here. We've got momentum now. If we roll right into a state of play, obviously it's a Sony state of play, so they don't really care about these re-releases. Like, whoa, wait a second, I don't like that anyway. And then Sony's like, yo, let me remind you where Final Fantasy VII came from. Let's go back. Let's bring it back to the Sony side of things. Let us remind you that just because this game, this part 3, the final act, the final part in this trilogy, might be coming to multi-platform on day one, maybe. Seems like it. They are being developed in tandem. Naoki Hamaguchi confirmed that part 3 is being developed for the Switch 2 at the same time.
That's wild.
So they might be aiming for a multi-plat release on day one, but Sony might be like, listen, though, we are the origins of Final Fantasy VII, and we are the origins of this trilogy. Let us remind you where you should be playing this game at. I'm just trying to be inside the mind of PlayStation, right? I'm trying to be in the mind. I'm not saying that. I'm not endorsing that. You play wherever you want to play. Obviously, that's the beauty of this multi-plat. But if I'm in the mind, get inside the mind.
Inside the mind.
You understand the Sony? You got to get inside the mind of the Sony. Okay?
Are we witnessing the birth of a new persona right now, Dan?
Yeah. So there you go. Sony might be like, let's bring it in. Let's bring it back. State of play next month. Part 3 revealed. And you did mention it briefly, but the voice actors back in the booth. Now, well, I say back in the booth, but they're in the booth now. My mind is maybe kind of telling me or convincing me that maybe this is the second time they've been in the booth. Like, I feel like they've already recorded lines and they're just kind of coming back to kind of finish some lines off. There's that, or this is like giving them sufficient amount of time to, hey, game's done, let's go, let's roll. And I say game's done because, once again, we'll bring it back over to Naoki Hamaguchi.
What'd he say, Dan? What'd he say?
Bro, I want to find exactly what he said, but I got to find it. I'll find it in a minute. I'll find out where it came from and everything. But he definitely said Final Fantasy VII Part 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 in this trilogy, is playable technically. We're just adding some polish. We're just polishing the game, which is insane. Now, polishing a video game is not just like, oh, it's clean, let's go. No, polishing a video game, especially of this size, it's going to take a long time. So I imagine about a year's time of like making sure this game launches, no bugs, it's clean, it runs, responsive, I can see that we're in that stage now. We had talked about, God, was it last year or was it last year? 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they were talking about, oh yeah, the Highwind is in a playable state, right?
Yeah, that was the summer that Rebirth came out. They were talking about that.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So they said that technically it was playable then. And then like I think it was probably brought up again that the game is playable. But this time it feels more like the game is playable technically is what he said. Which makes
the game is playable.
That makes me feel like from start to finish you can technically play this game. And when he says technically, it makes me think you can play it from start to finish, but there's some hiccups that we're trying to work out. What do you think?
So we're talking about a 150-hour game. You got to have time to play test that bad boy a whole bunch of times, start to finish, man. You know what I'm saying? If this is anything like the size of Rebirth, and I'm anticipating it's going to be on the same scale, if not bigger, because how do you not make a game that has to revisit previous areas and add 40% again as more and not have a bigger game? I don't know how you do that. So, I mean, yeah, the fact that it's playable start to finish, no surprise. You have to have that. In order to get that polish on a game this size, you're going to have a lot of space to get that done. And so it's very encouraging to know that that's where they're at right now. I think we're looking really pretty for next year. You can pick any window you want. I think it's believable that they could hit any of these target dates.
Yep, and here it is right here. All right. In terms of the third installment, I believe we are coming along very smoothly. We have set a schedule for ourselves, and he's following the Final Fan TV timeline, by the way. That's the schedule. And I believe we are... we are tracking on time for milestones we have set. So I'm really thankful for the development team, and I have so much respect for them working on this project. I believe at this point the game is playable, technically, but we are still trying to polish it so it is at quality where we can deliver to our players. Dude. Okay, so again, and I said Final Fan TV earlier, you might have noticed some changes, and I disregard the hat. It's a little throwback hat. We are now the Warriors of Hype. All right. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who commented on that post and have been super supportive of this rebrand. We are now the Warriors of Hype, which allows us to continue talking about Final Fantasy because of it's a nod to the origins of this channel, the legacy of the channel being the Warriors of Light, the Warriors of Hype. And now we can talk about anything else we want to talk about, like we're going to do following this Hypecast.
We will.
So if you guys want to stay tuned, we have a review for a strategy game that just came out, Conquest Tactics, Realm of Sin. We were sent review codes, which is pretty cool, and we decided to take that up and say, yeah, we're not Final Fantasy exclusive anymore. Let's do that review. And then we're going to do a little Fantasy Critic check-in. How is that looking against, Genesis 7 and Prof Noctis and Subtext? Let's see where their games are. Somebody has High Guard. How does it score? We don't know yet. There needs to be more. Anyways, so stay tuned for that. Let's keep the hype rolling for Final Fantasy VII Part 3. Okay. Now, as you can see here, we got Queen's Blood on the table. Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go, dude.
Here we go.
Here it is. Queen's Blood is a very popular and beloved minigame, and I believe a lot of people are still wanting something like that. I want to expand on Queen's Blood so that we are enhancing it and giving you a more powered-up version of it. And when you see that third installment, Queen's Blood is still going to be available in the third installment. We just want to expand on it. Question for you, Excalibro.
Yes.
What does an expanded Queen's Blood look like to you?
Oh, bro. Open the can of worms. All right, so there's a lot of directions this can go. I mean, obviously, right out the gate, you're gonna have new cards, but you're also probably gonna have new mechanics, right? So what does that mean? Well, new rules and variants. One thing that I can't stop thinking about is the possibility that you could have a three-way battle with a totally different board that's set up for that. I think it would be interesting to see character specific decks. Like maybe so the cards have some properties. There was some meta narrative, right, in Queen's Blood and Rebirth. What if the cards themselves have properties in the same way the materia have properties? So you build a deck for Barrett or for Cloud or one of these characters that's playing, and maybe it has some other effects. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. That's kind of an out there idea, but I could definitely see character specific decks. I think we could get more of those boss scale battles that we got toward the end. A lot of the matches felt very measured. But when you get into the last few matches, some of those are really tough, and you see some big gun cards come out. And I could see a lot more, like I said, boss scale type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what are your first thoughts on this, Dan? Like, what jumps out at you when you hear new elements, expanded, Queen's Blood expanded? What does that mean?
Okay. The warrior of hype, but allow me to gripe for just a second.
Oh, all right. Warrior of gripe. Let's go.
I'm sorry. Warrior of gripe is here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You asked me, the first thing that pops out in my mind as I go, Fort Condor. It was better in Intergrade. And when they expanded it in Rebirth, it turned out to be not as good as Intergrade.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I'm hearing, Dan.
Yep.
Don't mess with the good thing.
So it seems like they're saying enhancing it. They're using words like enhancing it. We're trying to expand on it. But it's just like Fort Condor was amazing in Intergrade. And when you go into Queen's Blood, it was amazing in Rebirth. And when I hear expanding it, enhancing it, I think of Fort Condor of like, oh, I see somebody in chat saying add more lanes. And I'm like, okay, but if you add more lanes, I feel like
trick you real fast.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, the simplicity of Queen's Blood, though. Like, Queen's Blood with the three, it was like, what, a 3x6 or something like that? But like, or 3 by something. But the 3 lanes was perfect, right? Is it 3 lanes? I think it is. God,
it's 3 lanes.
It's 3
100%,
lanes.
yes.
So, like, having that simplicity there and then building on that with the later on matches getting more and more challenging, just start me right off from that point and then keep the challenge going, like you're talking about, boss battles and stuff like that. I would also like to see cards for Cloud or cards for whatever. That would be cool, but I don't know necessarily if... Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We can expand the cards. We can do all of that. The thing that would be the most exciting thing for me, and it's not going to happen, multiplayer. Like,
aren't we all wishing for that?
Yeah, if you want to expand on it, enhance it, let me play against Excalibur. Like, let me do a 1v1. Let me 1v1 you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. let me go into the gold saucer.
Level, baby. Let's go.
Let me enter matchmaking. Join my room and let's go. Join my gold saucer. Let's play. That would be the pinnacle of like part 3. Not only like transcending the launch window, but people will keep coming back and playing because hey, we can snowboard one day, we can play Queen's Blood or whatever. And it's just like I stand behind that. Man, I talked about this before Rebirth came out. I've been pushing and pushing and pushing. Give us matchmaking for these games. I think that would make it so much better. But yeah, I'm a little skeptical when they say that with Queen's Blood. So I love Queen's Blood though.
Can I do a quick defense of your let's call it a counter argument. So Fort Condor actually devolved.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Expand.
Right.
I feel like it did, right? They took away some of the fine control and made it more automated. It was devolved in a way that simplified it. And I think if they go the other way with Queen's Blood, right, and especially if they do it in measured ways, like nothing too crazy, like forget I said anything about new boards. This is just my brain trying to figure out how you would expand it. But now that I'm thinking about it, like you create more functions and features for cards. You create more people you can play against. Instead of 2 or 3 people per town, maybe you have 5. Maybe you have all the returning players, and then you have another 20 players on top of that. Maybe you have more tournaments that you can go to and participate in and that kind of thing. Like we had that story moment in Rebirth. Maybe it's more of just sort of bigger and better of what already exists and not so much changing anything that's already working.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at Fort Condor from the perspective of if the two versions were inverted and the first one was in Integrate and the second one was in Rebirth, we'd all be sitting here like, man, I'm glad they changed it. It's so much better. It's crazy. It's basically the same system, but better.
Mm-hmm.
If they could make those sort of incremental changes to Queen's Blood, I don't think anybody would have a problem with it.
No, I agree. That is what I would want to see for sure, man. Yeah, and let's see what do we got here. Yeah, Mr. Gainsborough. I love the tournament on the Shinra 8. Yo, when we get that the High Wind, that's going to be a hub, and we're going to have Queen's Blood. Everybody on the High Wind is going to want to play Queen's Blood.
That's the new poker tournament spot right there.
And I'm happy to play.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I played so
in
much
the
Queen's
war
Blood.
room, just playing cards.
Yeah. Meteors in the sky. You want to play cards?
Right.
Yeah. Dude, I'm really, really excited about that. Legend Gary says maybe add a card wager mechanic. Ooh, that's interesting as well.
Triple triad spice right there. There was a few different ways to play, and the wager was one.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I like that. That's good stuff. See, that kind of stuff is good as long as the core gameplay doesn't change too much. Because like, man, God, that game was so good, dude. I'm so excited for Vinny, the Fire Go Fighter, to play because he's not played Rebirth yet. And he keeps telling me, oh, yeah, man, these like card strategy games, Final Fantasy, any video game peaked with Triple Triad. And I'm like, hold up a second, bro. Wait until you play Queen's Blood.
Oh, hold my Mako do, bro.
Yeah.
Hold my Mako do. Can't wait to hear his opinions when he gets through this.
Me too. Pretty excited about that. He hasn't played it yet, everybody. So stay tuned for his opinions on that. And then also shout out to Stepharoth. Stepharoth making their way through the chapter by chapter analysis of Rebirth, leaving comments as they go. I love that. Thank you so much for doing that. Also, shout out, and I should have done this at the beginning of the show, but hey, better late than never, I suppose, to Richard Stulls for equipping us with the ultimate weapon. Thank you so much for that, man. I'm probably going to change you to the Hype Incarnate. How's that sound, dude? that Patreon tier there. Queen's Blood is a very popular... Oh, I already said that one. Aside from Queen's Blood, Hamaguchi stressed that minigames will still be a big part of the third game. There it is. Okay. That includes doing justice to the original Final Fantasy VII snowboarding. He goes like this, ready? He says, snowboarding! This is something that fans have really deep memories about. I'm afraid I can't delve into the details too much, but we understand that it's going to be... But we understand that it's not going to be just a simple snowboarding game. We want to make sure that it is incorporated, into the story to have that sort of connection with the theming of it. Well, for more on that, he says, not actually, but go check out the Hypecast from earlier this month when we talked about snowboarding. I believe that was last month, but either way, we have the snowboarding Hypecast. We went into that one, man. We brought up SSX. We brought up Split Fiction has that snowboarding segment. We talked about that quite a bit because it's sharing the same Unreal Engine. Speaking of Unreal Engine, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is confirmed to be running on Unreal Engine 4, which honestly, I think that's a good thing. They have had three games by that point of like locking this in. We understand the engine. We know what we're doing now. We've optimized for multiple different consoles. And that shows in the Switch 2 version. Like, they know what they're doing now. Like, they're like...
have a polished pipeline, bro, for sure.
Exactly. I mean, so as far as that goes for the open world and all the other stuff, we talked at length for that. We don't know how they're going to be able to pull that off with the current engine of what they're doing, but... I mean, seems like he's very confident in it. So Unreal Engine 4 is one they're going with. They've added a lot of their own tweaks to the engine, and they've understand this thing. So I think that's great. It also allows us to sit here right now talking about how this game could be coming out next year, early next year. And if it wasn't for them sticking with Unreal Engine 4, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, was that it? What else what else are we here for? Wiley, is there anything else that we need to talk about? I feel like there was something else. I feel like we hit up on all of the main points here. But yeah, chat. Let's take
those are the main points.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me just run back through.
I want to take a moment and talk to chat for a second here. Okay, Unreal Engine 4 is fine, but for the love of God, fix the flashbang effect when going through doorways. Ectogame.
Lighting transition.
Yeah, that is something that needs to be fixed there. But I don't know how far to the extent they're going with that. Let's see. I would love to play against Sid, Zack, and Sephiroth for Queen's Blood, bro. Oh man, going against you know Sid for sure. Sid for sure. Nathan says that too. Sid will definitely play Queen's Blood with you. Sephiroth is like how Rebirth slight spoilers, maybe major spoilers if you're really into this Queen's Blood stuff. So I don't go there. All right, this is your warning. I'll raise my hand when I'm done if you want to mute us for Queen's Blood spoilers. But you play against Genova in a way, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
You kind of play against Genova, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, I guess, that you play against a Sephiroth, right? You play against a Sephiroth clone in Rebirth, don't you? Like one of the
clones. I'm just trying to think about what that looks like if you're playing cards against Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that would be crazy. Yeah, look, Mr. Gainsborough says a Sephiroth boss battle phase 10 Queen's Blood. For a second, I read that as a 10-phase Queen's Blood match against Sephiroth. All right, so let's see. Too much volumetric fog in Rebirth is what John Q Gamer says. It added haze to the world, and I think it contributed to the lighting issues a little. Now that's another thing, right? Like, so I feel like they found their tricks. They found their ways to kind of work around, basically the system, the console itself, and what it can handle, and what the engine can handle, and using volumetric fog was definitely one of those things. I will say, I downloaded the mod on the PC, and man, wow. Certain areas just look so freaking good when you turn the volumetric fog off. So I do agree with you, John, there. And for all intents and purposes, my 3080 was running. I know that's, slightly more powerful than the current gen consoles, but it was running it fine. So, yeah, that would be... I agree with you on that one. Use it artistically rather than... Hopefully they can use it more artistically rather than technically. We need portals. It needs portals. Where's my portal gun?
I mean, we got a portal in Rebirth. Minor spoiler here, but if you finish the Proto Relic quest line, there's a little bit of portal action in there, all throughout that one. So not putting it outside the realm of possibility.
David Maddox coming in there saying, kind of hoping Fort Condor isn't the same board game in the next game. Make it something more realistic now. Which, that's like a whole Hypecast in itself, and we are absolutely going to do that one. I'm excited, because we got to talk about Fort Condor, and we got to talk about how maybe the board game has been a precursor. It's been foreshadowing what you're going to be doing at Fort Condor, like, during the huge materia quest, right? Like, this is like, you've played the board game, now it's time to move these real units. That would be freaking cool, man.
Yeah, man. Talk about stakes, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with real people.
Now you're not dealing with these little, these
are lives.
Little pawns. Yeah. So, yeah, that would be really cool, man. I hope they do that, and we will talk about that at length as well. Kind of wish the Final Fantasy VIII card game spec would make a return. So, like, Final Fantasy, or like the Triple Triad, like make its way in. You program robots. I forget the other...
Gears and Gambits.
Oh, Gears and Gambits. Yeah, Gears and Gambits. That's another one. He's talking about how minigames will absolutely make a return. So... we look at Gears and Gambits and we got to think, is that coming back? Are we getting... But I mean, dude, there's so much to talk about with Minigames in Part 3. Snowboarding, Queen's Blood is now confirmed. This is a game that wasn't in the original, you know what I mean? Like, Queen's Blood wasn't in the original game. It was so good in Rebirth. They're bringing it back. So, yeah, very, very excited for all of that. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because we might actually just jump right. I might get Vinny in here. This has been I like the Hypecast being, like, condensed. Let's take a moment here, chat. Ask us anything, like excitement level about the topics that we talked about here. Because otherwise, I'm gonna be like, yo, man, kind of want to save that for another Hypecast. So, is there anything that you want to add to what we talked about now today? And then we'll jump into what's going to follow this. Follow this Hypecast is a brand new show, a little after show that I want to give you guys. And I talked about it a little bit earlier, but basically talking about that new Conquest Realm of Sin, Conquest Tactics Realm of Sin. We're doing a review for that new strategy game. And we're doing a little bit of impressions of High Guard. We'll take a look at the Fantasy Critic, and then we'll also check in, maybe if there's time, we'll watch the Resident Evil thing live with these 3 mega fans that have yet to seen it.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. Man, let me just say, chat. So, what do you guys think the likelihood is that we're getting that Part 3 trailer at this rumored state of play here in about 2-ish weeks?
Okay, yeah.
By show of hype, I need to know.
By
how likely
show
you
of
guys
hype.
think this is? By show of hype.
By show of hype. More dolphin racings is what Farther said. I see a question here. David Maddox says, do we all think the soldiers at the end of Rebirth Chapter 4 will be back as the High Wind crew in Part 3? Yeah, I mean...
High Wind or Submarine, or... Yeah, they're going to be there. There's no way they don't come back.
Part of me wants to say the Submarine, but, like... Because
that's where they're at, right? They're in Junon.
Yeah. And then was it at the end of that quest? Doesn't Cloud tell them to go down and inspect a different...
He does. I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah.
And I can't remember whether or not that was like, hey, go down to the... wherever this is, and that's technically the dock. The
underwater reactor, is that what it is?
Something like that. So I actually made a video on that if you guys want to go check it out. It's the underwater... Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 Underwater or whatever. You'll see this cool little like submarine shooting rockets at Emerald. I made a video on that, and I talked about the crew, the 7th Infantry and stuff like that. So that could absolutely be the case. I could also see them helping you escape from the Junon prison, like with Sid being there, and like I can just see that being like them kind of helping in that situation, because I think they're going to need help to get out of there.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, and then Sid is a great pilot, but can he pilot the thing by himself? Like, not in the OG, he needed a crew, right?
Didn't they point out in Rebirth that it required so many people to man the High Wind? Trying to remember, but I feel like they did.
Think so.
Man, I'm gonna have to do another playthrough now, bro.
This is not Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 related, but I'll answer. So Ectogomet says, you mentioned you're branching out with non-Final Fantasy stuff, going to be covering the big 2026 games announced. Yeah, like that's the idea. That's what we're hoping to do. We missed the Xbox Direct, which would have been fun to do, like a little reaction to and everything, but we're hoping to, one of these big State of Play, the Summer Game Fest, these big events, we would love to do reactions to them. We'd love to cover some of these new games, like Resident Evil Requiem coming out. I mean, we have Vinny, Wiley, and Lee are all really big Resident Evil fans. So I would love to put them on to like having a review for you guys. I don't think we'll get a review code because this is all new and everything, but I'd like to have a review for you and maybe even a Hypecast dedicated to Resident Evil. Let's see. Now that Remake Intergrade launched for Nintendo Switch 2, we're officially in the anytime they want window for Part 3 news. That's coming from John Q Gamer. Yeah, like pretty much anytime they want, but it's... Oh, and then another thing I clicked into, somebody sent it to me on Discord. Let me bring that up. Somebody sent it over on Discord about... Yep, Farthers from The Gamer. here. Farther sent this to me, whereas Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Switch 2 version could be here as early as this summer, and the gamer basically has the sources. Basically, Hamaguchi said there's not a huge amount of information I can share on that, but then the gamer said, while Hamaguchi was unable to share a huge amount of information, we've learned at the gamer that the current plan is for Rebirth to release on the Switch 2 at some point this summer. Of course, schedules can change, blah, 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 blah. So that kind of goes in line with what we were talking about with the errant world timeline that we're in, which doesn't feel so errant anymore. I don't, you get caught up in the moment, but still, I still believe that the Game Awards would have been a great place to show it. But it doesn't feel errant as much, especially with next month coming up. And I really do think maybe we will see it at the State of Play. If we don't see it at State of Play, we'll wait until summer. Let's just wait. But if it almost feels like to me, if we don't see it at the State of Play next month, it just feels like we'll wait until after Rebirth comes out on multiplat. So. And
yeah,
then
it's kind of weird
build,
because Summer Game Fest is such a big moment that you would want to set it up before that, so everybody knows it's going to be there, right? So I don't think you wait to announce it. Then I think you want to have it set up at that point. So it is kind of weird timing. I think we're looking at a decent probability that this is going down in the next couple weeks, bro.
Oh, we got Vinny. Vinny is here.
What's going on? Oh, let me get this out of the way.
The Fire Go Fighter has joined the party, everybody. Fire Go Fighter's joining here because we do have a special review that we were talking about earlier. Now, Vinny, all we're talking about right now, no spoilers. I know you haven't played Rebirth yet. We're basically talking about timeline and what's going to happen. Like, when are we going to get the announcement for Part 3? And we're talking about, Switch 2 version of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is most likely summer, according to the gamer, who has sources saying that. So it kind of follows the plan of 6-month gap. And if it is the 6-month gap plan of hey, we release in January, we wait 6 months, we release in June or July for Rebirth on Switch 2 and Xbox, we wait 6 months, which is January of the freaking 30th anniversary, what we've all been talking about and wanting. We wait till then, and then Part 3 is out. Now, if that is the case, though, and we're all talking about maybe waiting until after Rebirth is out, well, I don't like that idea. You get too close to release at that point. If you're waiting for Rebirth to come out on the multiplat, you only have 6 months to freaking put that marketing engine into high gear, and now people finally know what the name of the freaking game is 6 months before it comes out. I think next month is at least the reveal of the title. That's where I'm at with it right now. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this Hypecast. Stay tuned. Let's talk games. Let's talk games here on Warriors of Hype. And what we're going to do is we're going to just seamlessly kind of transition into this after show. We got a review for Conquest Tactics Realm of Sin. We have a check-in on the Fantasy Critic with Prof Noctis, Gen 7, and Subtext. You know what I mean? How are they looking? Somebody had High Guard. That's out. How is High Guard? I'll talk about that. I played 3 hours of it. So there it is, everybody. Thank you for watching the Hypecast.